Sneako is basically having a train run on him by the entire internet right now. That hole is seeing some good use. Kind of reminds me of someone, I can't think of it. Oh right, it's his girlfriend. Literally everyone is destroying him, so let's talk about it.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way, yeah.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Tom Dark channel. I am your host, Tom Dark, and today we are talking about Sneako once again on the fucking internet right now. I've made some content on Sneako before, so I assume a lot of you know who this guy is, but for those of you who don't know, he was sort of this artsy vlog, filmmaker, YouTuber who made pretty thoughtful and interesting videos, and then when Andrew Tate came around, he pivoted to being like a red pill streamer type guy who makes videos talking about cringy feminists, OnlyFans girls, and sort of took this right-wing angle to things. He started hanging out on stream with more fringe right-wing political figures, and he talked about his own theory on the election and a certain shot that we were all getting a few years ago to, you know, prevent against a certain virus. I don't want to piss off YouTube, so I'm not going to go too in depth here. And thanks to that, he got banned on YouTube and is now streaming on Rumble. Now, I made a whole video talking about Sneako on my main channel, as well as a few videos on my second channel, because basically, you know, I don't like Sneako. I used to like to watch his videos, but I think he kind of went in a cringe direction, and I wanted to call him out, and it has nothing to do with him being right-wing, and everything to do with him being a hypocrite. And then he went on to react to my own video, and he, like, called me gay, he called me cringe, he called me soy, and I basically was like, hey, well, how can you call me cringe? How can you call me soy when you did a gay photo shoot and you took your girlfriend to a cuckold party? You know, how does that really work? I was being ironic, okay? Listen, the soy face was ironic. It was, guys, I don't drink soy, guys. I promise I don't drink soy. There's not an entire fridge full of Soylent 5 feet away from you, okay? You're gonna call me a soy boy when you're doing this shit, bro? Really? Like, I think there's nothing wrong with doing a gay photo shoot. I think there's nothing wrong with going to a cuckold party. Okay, I mean, the cuckold party is a little far. I may think there's something wrong with that. But at the same time, like, I probably wouldn't care that he did it unless he was also this, like, right-wing kind of grifter type, right? Like, I think there's nothing wrong with being right-wing or working out or being strong or being an alpha male, okay? Getting yoked, I think that's cool. People will call it cringe, but you know what? I get it. You want to show off your high-tea lifestyle a bit. But at the same time, I'm not gonna stand by and be called soy or weak by a guy who lets other dudes bang his girlfriend. The same guy who ran from a fight with Brandon Buckingham. Like, this guy is all about might is right, physicality, you know? He challenges people to beat them up, and there's always people physically smaller than him, like, critical, right? But when someone who matches his physical stature, like Brandon, challenges Sneako, he runs like a coward, and it really just shows to me the kind of person he is. He's all talk. At the end of the day, he's just a big, fat, walking pussy.
10 soy boys right here, and I just want to formally challenge all 10 of them to a debate panel. I would love to 10v1 debate all of you.
I would talk to you one-on-one, Sneako, if you want to debate. I would talk to you. I'd have a conversation. And what's funny about this is that I actually accepted this challenge to debate him, and then the guy ducked me like 5 times. Now, some people say he's scared of me. I honestly don't think he's scared of me. I don't think it's like that. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just like one dude. What could I possibly say to him that he hasn't already been roasted for on Twitter, right? But he literally challenged me directly. He said he wanted to debate me. And when I came back and was like, yo, let's go, let's fucking do it, he just instantly backed out or started changing his story. And then when I finally got him to agree to it, he just ran. So I don't really know what's up with that. And I was even added to his like soy boy collage. And I ended up basically being like, you know what? I've had enough of this guy, so I'm gonna fire back. And I ended up ratioing him on Twitter. Or sorry, I didn't ratio him. My friend ratioed him on my friend's Twitter account at AnonBird. Because honestly, I can take the soy insult to an extent, okay? I don't really care. I'm not too insecure about myself physically in that way. And you know what? To an extent, I am kind of soy, guys. I mean, obviously, apart from the fact that I start every morning with drinking literally 3 bottles of Soylent, chocolate Soylent, of course. Apart from the fact that I wash my hair with soy shampoo, I wipe my ass with soy-based toilet paper. Apart from all of that, let's be real, guys. My body was not made for combat, okay? God chose me to be a gamer, to be a commentary YouTuber. He chose me to be strong-minded with a massive brain, and a high IQ. And as a result, my body and physical form is rather underdeveloped. But at the same time, I'm not going around pretending to be like super tough and strong and fight against like the cringe left-wingers and simultaneously be doing homosexual photo shoots and then claim to be the epitome of base, you know? And now since this tweet that I made, I'm not saying I'm the first person to ratio or roast Sneako or whatever, but it seems like a lot of other people are really going after him. They've been absolutely railing Sneako constantly, and it's been pretty funny to watch. And honestly, I'm starting to feel bad for the guy. It's like, Jesus, guys, he's already dead. He's already got fucking owned. Like, you don't got to keep like beating his senseless, lifeless body. Now, a lot of this has been random people on Twitter owning him, but the memes about him and his girl have been totally destructive. And I think a lot of this started because of Brandon Buckingham's video, where he shows off Sneako talking about what happened with him and his girlfriend.
You watched another guy have sex with your girlfriend. That's weird, and you can call us all insecure.
No, it was weird. It was weird, but I'm glad that I went through that because I think it made the bond that I have with my girl a little stronger. You know, it helped me get over, like, now the threat of that happening, of her cheating, fucking someone else, it doesn't really, like, eat away at me anymore the same way after seeing that. I'm kind of glad I saw that because I think it like built up and made my insecurities like a little bit. It built calluses around my insecurities.
Hold on.
Wait, how close was it?
We were on the same bed. I was with his girl. He was with my girl.
You
like right
was
here.
on the bed?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
So what did
I couldn't like it was. I was literally having PTSD watching that. I was like having war flash. Like I just.
So did that get you out of your cheating ways?
What position?
No. It was missionary. Missionary legs up.
It was missionary legs up?
Legs up, yeah.
Oh no.
Was
That's such
he-
a oh
was he-
no.
Was he staring at her like in her eyes?
Yeah, like deep eye contact.
Oh no.
Deep eye contact. The room, like her and the couple, like we're like, all right, let's switch.
Like it's nasty.
So I got this girl on top of me, and she's, I don't know, yo, I'm just not. And my girl's right here, and she's like, and I'm like, oh, yo, I'm like feeling traumatic thoughts, like seeing her with another person. But I think it's something everybody should do just to test.
No!
You know what? You know what? I think you should.
I may smack a nigga.
Like, this is just total cope, obviously. And these clips are insane to see. Because the number one insult someone like Sneako would have is to call someone a cuck. But he cannot use that insult because he willingly watched his girlfriend get dicked the hell down. In front of him, like 1 foot away from him. It's just the most insane irony ever. And now, Critical also made a similar tweet to mine, where he absolutely caused a nuclear bomb to drop on Sneako. I mean, this insult was more savage than I thought Charlie even had in him. I didn't think he was really like this, but it was such a brutal own. I feel like the golden age of YouTube drama is kind of back with how fire these tweets are. Pattern recognition. This collage is everyone who advocated for my cancellation. Fight back and follow me on Rumble. And little did Sneako know that this tweet he usually makes like every once in a while under every tweet he makes, right? By the way, he took me out of the soy boy collage. I guess he realized I was never advocating for him to be kicked off YouTube or something. I don't really know. Whatever the case, I'm removed, guys. I guess I don't have enough clout. I'm not famous enough. But this tweet was like seconds, moments before disaster. Sneako could not have predicted the absolute butt fucking he was about to experience. Holy shit, you pathetic, sensitive, soy little worm. I made fun of you for watching your girlfriend get fucked by numerous other men and also insulted you for defending child porn. That's not cancellation, that's just spitting on you for being a pitiful, sad cuck. Like, have you guys ever seen Charlie be this brutal? Have you ever seen him go this hardcore like this? It kind of caught me off guard, honestly. And following this, the two got in a little bit of a Twitter back and forth, you know. Critical's tweeting, he's like, you're a cuck. Sneako's tweeting, he's like, yeah, I know I am, but I am and I enjoy it. And obviously, you know, because Critical has a huge audience, right? I mean, he's like 10 million on YouTube. Meanwhile, Sneako isn't even on YouTube. His biggest platform is Twitter, which has like 400K. As a result, Critical was kind of the one coming out on top in terms of pure likes, and it probably would have been that way, you know, no matter what Sneako was saying. But at the same time, like, I think that most people would agree Critical is in the right here. He sort of has the moral high ground, okay? He has the base position in this situation. You know in your soul you would never say that to my face. And of course, this is so ironic because Sneako ran from Brandon Buckingham, like I said earlier. He wants to challenge Charlie, who's like 5'6", right, to a fight, obviously, because he knows he would always win. And he doesn't even have a legitimate beef with Charlie other than Charlie thinking he's kind of cringe. But he cowers when someone who's physically the same height as him and same weight class like Brandon Buckingham challenges him. And Brandon has a legitimate beef with him as well. You literally have a collage of people that hurt your feelings on the internet. You haven't stopped whining about me for months now, you goofy NPC. Even if you beat my ass in a fight, it doesn't change the truth. You're still a cuck who defends CP. Now, as for what Charlie is talking about here, he's referencing the defense of cuties made by Sneako back in the day. Now, I've never seen cuties, so I don't know whether or not to take a firm stance with Charlie here. From what I understand, the movie's basically meant to highlight child exploitation, but by that same token, it ends up exploiting children in the process. Now, keep in mind, that's what I've been told, so I'm not going to totally weigh in here because I haven't seen it, and I honestly don't want to, because even if it does highlight that issue, the idea of seeing little girls in that compromising position is just not something I want to be exposed to. So I don't know if that's real because I've never seen it and I don't plan on it, but regardless of how I feel about it, regardless of how I feel about cuties, or you may feel about it, because I bet a lot of you guys haven't seen it either, it's undeniable to say that a lot of people took a huge issue with what Sneako said about cuties. I think this is actually the thing that put Sneako on Charlie's radar back in the day when Sneako was still on YouTube, because he made a video defending it on his main channel, I believe, and basically Critical made a response and was like, this guy is defending something that's disgusting, this movie's disgusting, he's defending the exploitation of kids, and that's not cool or edgy or smart.
Okay, if I ever wanted to get canceled, this is the video. I saw Cuties last night and it was pretty good. It's a pretty good movie.
You're not special from the other 10 soy boys who say the same thing. If you got a problem, stop talking on the internet. Let's solve it. Got your Discord still working on responses? Brother, I have no problem. You started it and I made fun of you in return. You're upset about publicly admitting to cuckoldry and get mad at me for bringing it up. You should be mad at yourself instead. Have some self-reflection. And basically, Charlie blew him out of the water here as far as the wider internet is concerned. Sneako got absolutely destroyed here. Now, this kind of begs the question of when this is all said and done, where does this leave Sneako, right? What does this actually mean for him? Will this like, you know, petty Twitter drama everyone will say is pointless, will it have any impact on his career? Well, I'd honestly like to say that none of this changes the baseline hate or love for Sneako. Everybody who already hates him for XYZ reasons is not going to change their position, and all the people who like him for XYZ XYZ reasons are not gonna change their position. No one changed sides here. But this kind of thing does send a message to the broader YouTube community that Sneako is getting destroyed, he's getting owned, and he's more of a joke rather than being a serious content creator or YouTuber at this point. It kind of sends the message that he's just something to be laughed at. He's a punchline. I mean, the level of disrespect he's getting here, you know, from the majority of Twitter is in the same way that you would treat someone who's a complete meme and their entire being is reduced to like 3 facts about themselves, which is the case here, right? Like basically what Sneako has been reduced to in the public eye to most people is not even a content creator. Instead, he's seen as a cuck who defended cuties and is a coward and will not fight anyone. And that sucks for him, but at the same time, he kind of did this to himself, you know? This whole cuck thing is something that probably could have been avoided if he had been more, you know, humble about it. But instead, he has to constantly start beef with people on Twitter, and obviously they're gonna bring it up, you know? By getting in fights with all these prominent creators, people who maybe he could make some content with and find some common ground with, have a conversation with on stream, he basically has cut himself off from completely mainstream YouTube, right? And maybe he would say that this was all a part of the plan, but if so, that's a very stupid plan because over on Rumble, hate to break it to you, but nobody uses fucking Rumble. And to grow your platform, you need people to come from YouTube to check out your content. You need people to come from bigger websites to go to Rumble and watch your stuff. And I don't think it's working out right now. You know, Sneako, I watch his streams from time to time, and he's kind of been on this arc where he says, I'm gonna keep fighting with the soy boys on Twitter and on YouTube because those people are gonna eventually cause some amount of people who actually like my stuff to find me and go over to my content. And I honestly don't think that's happening at this point. I think everyone that could like Sneako at present moment is probably already watching him, and at this point, it's just more people, you know, piling onto the hate bandwagon to find out all the reasons to make fun of him, right? I mean, that's the whole point of this soy boy collage tweets, right? He always posts them with a link to his Rumble because he wants to pull people from Twitter who don't like those guys, who don't like me, I guess, who don't like, you know, the other people like Nick is Not Green and Mr. Beard, who, by the way, those are people I don't really like. I don't feel any camaraderie with them. But he wants to say these guys are soy, these guys are YouTube, you know, cucks or whatever, sellouts. But I'm telling the truth. I'm seeking truth through funny. You got to come over to Rumble. But by doing this stuff constantly, he basically walls off his content so that all people do is dunk on him on Twitter and they never actually check out his streams or videos or the stuff he posts. And honestly, this is sort of emblematic of the way that Sneako has gone in the past few years. Sneako used to be a content creator who people liked. He had some good takes and he had some bad ones, but he was never fighting for any side. He was a content creator who was ultimately himself and just represented his own feelings, right? Now, he was not always consistent. He was not always like right on the money, but he wasn't trying to be. He was trying to be honest. He was somewhat humble, even if kind of a flexer, which is whatever. I mean, when you're young and you have money for the first time, you want to flex a bit, you know. He has really weird taste in cars, but he got the Dodge Challenger. I mean, you know, I get it. You want to flex, you want to get a nice wash, get some designer clothing. That's whatever, I understand. That's a little cringe, but I do get it to an extent, you know what I mean? But back then, despite the sort of, you know, more braggadocious parts of his character, despite him being kind of a douche, he was still a real human being, and that's what I loved his content for back then. Sure, he did go against cancel culture, but it wasn't in a typical way where you would just like make a video be like, cancel culture sucks and this is why, right? It wasn't like that. Instead, he would like interview people who had been canceled, like Shane Gillis. He talked about cringe feminists and Karens or whatever, but it was from a personal story, from personal experience. It wasn't trying to make some generalization about all feminists or all Karens or whatever, right? He was not this like caricature that he is now. But I think that when he saw the red pill wave coming, he kind of saw it from like a cynical perspective of like, well, this could be a way to get big, you know? I'm kind of sick of like making okay money from these video essays. I want to get famous doing these, you know, these streams or whatever. But in the process, he basically became like a parody of himself. He became a total joke. Like now all he really is a few talking points. There's no depth to anything he says. There's no depth to his character. I feel like when he's on stream, he's not even a real person. He's just kind of repeating like the same 5 things he's supposed to say. Wokeness is bad. We need to defeat wokeness. Become red pilled. Suck Andrew Tate's f***ing dick. And I hate only fans or something. He doesn't even feel human anymore. He feels like he's playing someone else. And that sucks because I remember when he had aspirations to do stand-up comedy and create cool art and be a filmmaker. And now the only films he's going to be making are like, this is why the election did not go the way you think it did. Karens suck. Like it's going to be that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
To put it in perspective, my last commentary, Dave Chappelle's in the thumbnail. Like the whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that was a stretch. That was me like using his face for clickbait. I feel like it should be understood, but I was talking to YouTube friends and they don't like, oh, Dave, who's that? So anyway, I go up to Dave and I'm like, hey, what you did, that was a really big moment for me. I really appreciate what you said. I'm a new comedian. This is the first stage that I ever did a show on. So just what you said there, that really resonated with me. I really appreciate that. And he nods. The lady who didn't like me pushed him away from me so I couldn't have more of an interaction. And then that's it. And then I have this $100 bill and I have the memory. And I don't really know what to take away from it because that's what I wanted. That's why I went to the show. I wanted to have an interaction with him. I wanted to have that moment. I wanted to be able to, because he's more than a comedian at this point. He's like a philosopher. People come in just to see him, and like that's when he's at his best, is just when he's completely engaged in a story or in the moment or telling a lesson, or he's like the old wise man now who comes and goes, and like those, he's like a Dumbledore, you know? And I've been looking for like a deeper meaning than what I got, but I guess it's just as simple as being kind and to spread that type of kindness.
This guy that we're watching from back then is a real person. He's introspective, he's meaningful, he's honest, there's a point to it. He's not the smartest guy ever, but I mean, neither am I, right? Neither am I. He was just a guy trying to navigate his way through this strange world and find meaning in it. And I loved his shit, you know? But now it feels like he's just going in circles, talking about the same thing, like boring red pill shit, fighting for that side rather than trying to genuinely seek truth or seek anything, right? It doesn't seem that meaningful to me.
You know, the energy that you put out comes back to you.
The energy you put out comes back to you. Definitely true. You know, in my experience, that's definitely true. And honestly, to me, it feels like this is sort of the beginning of the end for this guy. You know, he kind of painted himself into a corner with this kind of arc that he's on. And it's not because he got kicked off YouTube. There are plenty of people who succeed off of YouTube. They do pretty damn well for themselves, you know, they're just fine. But he's just kind of shriveling into this sort of joke of his past self, and his Twitter is getting less and less likes. His Rumble's not pulling the numbers it used to. And his old fans don't watch him anymore. The only people that watch him now are like these people who use him for like a stress toy to validate their opinions. And eventually they're going to find a new stress toy. I hate to break it to you, Sneako. They're going to find someone else who's more interesting and edgy than you. I know the natural response some people to have is to like dance on his grave over that, but I honestly feel more sad about it and kind of melancholy because he really squandered, at least for now, you know, this opportunity to be something really special. You know, I was enjoying his arc up until a year and a half ago or so, and now he's just kind of stagnating. Like, I don't really find him that interesting anymore. I don't think if I had a conversation with him, it would be productive in any way. He's just like a wall. And it's not about him being right wing or red pill. It's really not about that at all. If you guys know my content, you know I don't have an inherent problem with those kinds of people, right? It's about him being stupid. Now, recently there's been some content from YouTubers about Sneako, like this video from Willie Mac Show titled "Sneako was unironically stupid, the path to irrelevancy."
Sneako once cried on stream because Brandon Buckingham called him a cuck and challenged him to a boxing match.
What would you think if that happened to you, chat? What would you think if that happened to you?
The dude was so sad he had to open a window.
Oh my god, man.
He was holding back tears on stream.
The same people, it's like the most hate comes from like...
Wow, not so tough when having to deal with a guy that would beat the f out of him.
And honestly, this was a great video, and I highly recommend checking it out. It's 40 minutes long, so it is on the longer side, but if you have the time, I will link it in the top of the description so you can go check it out and give it a like. Willie honestly deserves a lot more attention on his videos. They're great, so yeah, go check that video out. Willie Mac Show. Best content in the game. So yeah, man, the Sneako stuff is just getting sad at this point. I don't really know what to make of it or where it will go from here. I honestly think people saying "you fell off" or whatever is super annoying and overused, but in this case, it seems to me like Sneako did kind of fall off. You know, he sort of owned himself here enough times that I don't think his audience is really growing at all. I mean, I watch his videos on Rumble, and it seems to me like the chat is moving a lot slower than it used to. And maybe that's not ample evidence, and you know, I'll honestly say fair enough. It is totally anecdotal, but it's kind of like the same few people watching his stuff over and over again, as far as I can tell by his chat. And as for his views, I mean, according to Rumble, Sneako got 145,000 views on this stream VOD, which is pretty good, especially for off YouTube. That's like insane numbers. But then when you look at the comment section, he only got 175 comments. Now, I find this very perplexing as a YouTuber who, you know, thinks about numbers like this a little bit, because it doesn't really add up to me. Now, my stream VOD where I responded to Sneako got 157,000 views, which is almost the same as him, right? About 12,000 views more, but I got 1,100 comments, and he only got 175 comments. Now, why is that? I mean, my audience is awesome, and I love you guys, but I'm not a political guy, right? I'm a drama YouTuber at the end of the day, which is not serious. I'm not a serious guy. You know, I want to do comedy, I want to do drama, news, current events, but I'm not trying to push like an agenda or anything. I'm just trying to say what I think, right? But political people, like when you take one political side, if you're right-wing or left-wing, you automatically get an injection of loyal viewers who will comment on everything you do because you validate their opinions. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but that is how it is. So political people, you know, in a nutshell, are supposed to have really loyal followings who are super passionate about all of that stuff. These are the kinds of people that write a like 5-paragraph response to a video for every single comment, right? They argue in comment sections all day. And people like that are loyal to those they follow, like Sneako, who wants to be this kind of figurehead. And it just seems like the comments are not reflective of that. They're not reflective of the views he's getting. To me, they seem like they're like super low, like 20% or less than what they actually should be. Now, I've heard some people accuse Rumble as a website of faking their views, and I'm not going to accuse them of that prematurely because I do not know that. I could never prove that, but at the same time, I mean, what's going on here right now? You know, the amount of comments, the amount of engagement doesn't really make sense to me for the amount of views he's getting, you know? It doesn't. So my suspicion is that perhaps things are being inflated here a little bit. Perhaps Sneako is actually getting less views than you may think he is, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Kind of sussy though, kind of sussy. And I'm not even trying to like shit on him him for getting low views or something like that. Because as a general rule, I don't like to do stuff like that. I don't think it's cool to shit on people for not getting as much like internet clout as you are. That's super cringy. But I just want to know why there's this big discrepancy. You know, I want to know what's going on here.
The Daily Wire Fem Shabibo. We watched the video originally yesterday, but we hadn't seen this wonderful individual react to it.
Do you think Hassan Piker is hot?
No. Why do you think it's so hard? No! She belongs to the chat. She belongs to the chat. Yes, in some photos. Please be lying.
Recently, don't like the hair. Before, yes.
Okay. Okay. It's fair. I mean, he is.
Yeah, he's built.
Do you think...
Hold it. Hold this L, you goober. I mean, he's like obviously faking it, but it's still pretty funny. I liked it. I liked the video. When Hassan pulls your chat log.
And I don't even like Hassan, but Sneako got owned, bro. It's actually so over. Anyway, that about wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, and if you disliked it, be sure to leave a dislike on the video. And drop a comment down below letting me know what you guys think about Sneako, about this drama, about all of this. Check out my website, turkeytom.net, for all of my content and links. And I will see you all in the next video really, really, really soon on the Tom Dark channel. Leave a like, please. I need them. See you guys soon. Bye.